Welcome to Jamie's Curious Cave. With the several problems and opinions that are being expressed online, it was important to have an in-depth discussion about what really went wrong with this massive project. Everyone who is going in thinking there are no surprises because we have all read the story of Ramayana, is in for an eye-opening and not in a good way. This movie goes so beyond that Indrajit has powers of Flash and the Nightcrawler and is styled like a tattoo artist. And Ravan just before battle feeds his dragon raw tandoori chicken. The creative liberties are wild, so I thought it was essential to take a deep dive regarding several aspects of the film. I also want to get the fact out of the way that the music and background score have been enough as the only saving grace of this film, and that the problem lies not around the actors portraying the characters and more on the vision incorporated by Om Raut and the dialogues by Manoj Muntashir, who deemed it fit for a sacred epic like this. So let's get down to the video and point by point really analyze the things that really went wrong with Adipurush. 1. No establishment of Ram's character. The movie with its 3-hour running time cannot manage to establish the characters and their personalities to have a deep connection with the audience. A sign of lazy writing is when you assume that the audience is already well versed with the characters from the epic, so you make little to no effort in their individual arcs. This is the overconfidence of creators that many are pointing out, because the calm, kind and soft nature of Lord Ram is only inferred rather than actually presented. The benevolence that Lord Ram has in accepting the 14-year exile is only provided as a footnote later in the film, but you introduce the character fighting bootleg versions of Dementors in an awfully crafted action scene that only is representative of his physical might, but the essence of why Lord Ram is revered by everyone is never established. The moment in Valmiki's Ramayana where Lord Ram pleads to the people of Ayodhya to revere Bharat as their noble king, Dashrath in his deathbed being apologetic to his son, Bharat's disgust in knowing what his mother has schemed, his love and respect for Lord Ram all encompass Lord Ram's personality, and we got nothing of the same in the film. 2. The abundant love and loyalty of Lakshman and Sita. What really grinds my gears is the fact that the creators just assumed that one should feel empathy, love and longing for the relationship Lord Ram has in this movie rather than doing the job themselves of expanding on the same. As Adipurush starts with the exile, their union before marriage is never explored. How Lord Ram broke Lord Shiva's Pinaka in the Swayamvar is not even mentioned. Ayodhya is but a distant dream in Adipurush, making me think that if the makers really wanted to do justice to this epic, a 2-part movie would have been ideal. A saga where part 1 could have actually ended when Lord Ram and the Vanar Sena built the Ram Setu bridge. Because it is the dramatic moments in this linear text that really makes Ramayana so engaging, especially the case of Mantra filling Kaiki's ears about the misfortune that might be around the corner as her son Bharat is not even in the reckoning to become the new king. The promise that Dashrath has to fulfill, the dichotomy and guilt that he feels, and the cornered nature of the circumstances that lead to Sita and Lakshman wanting to be on Lord Ram's side. All of this is just assumed in Adipurush, and it makes the narrative suffer as the entire movie becomes cliff notes rather than a deep dive on any of the characters, their relationships and their individual arcs. The hot-headedness of Lakshman, the sincerity of Sita, all is lost, and the creators of Adipurush think that a song will suffice in making that clear. 3. The shoddy special effects and no improvement. One thing becomes abundantly clear as you see Adipurush, that there has been no patchwork done other than dimming most of the scenes that have heavy digital moving elements in each frame. The demon battle scene, the case of Ravan on his dragon, the depiction of Lanka and it coming across as Hotel Transylvania, all of these scenes feel clunky because of the tedious aspect of motion capture. And considering the span in which this movie has been made, it just does not do any justice. You are looking at a movie that was announced in August of 2020 and whose shooting was completed by November of 2021. A movie that has such intense motion capture and detailing is bound to be a half-assed product where there isn't a careful deliberation of how each element is going to be styled. The sorry nature of the battle sequences and especially the animated figures of the Vanar Sena is just representative of Om Raut believing that just like Tanhaji, the storyline, dialogues and performances will paper over the cracks. 4. Jatayu and his relationship is abandoned. An odd creative choice made by the makers of Adipurush is that they showcase Ram and Lakshman constantly having a flashback of the journey that Ravan takes in the sky after he abducted Sita. The reason why there is a sense of tension, anxiety and anger that builds in Lord Ram is because Sita just vanishes rather than having a perfect view of who and how his wife was abducted. The biggest drawback throughout the film is that Lord Ram always possessed a sense of calmness, and when he gets full of rage upon knowing that his wife is abducted, it is Lakshman who reminds him to never steer towards anger. This is something that is not explored in Adipurush. The worst part about Jatayu in the film is that they kill him after Ravan's strike. In the text, what makes the moment beautiful is when an injured Jatayu in the arms of Lord Ram apologizes for not doing enough in protecting Sita from the Demon King. This is why Adipurush becomes so emotionally distant. 5. The styling of characters, especially Lanka and its family members. The styling of the characters is just confusing. I don't particularly understand why the entire family and the Lanka army was an amalgamation of extras from Game of Thrones, Vikings and God of War. The spiky mid-2000s hairstyle on Ravan being styled with his sideburns as well. Indrajit with body tattoos looked exactly like Nightcrawler. Kumkaran is given the same style and depth as one of the goons from Brahmastra, and the worst has to be the styling of Vibhishan, played by Siddharth Karnik, who just looks like any other Delhi boy. What's also alarming is that the makers sexualize Sama, who helps Lord Ram in rejuvenating Lakshman with the Sanjeevani booty. But I don't know why they have scenes of her being scantily clad, changing and showing cleavage almost deliberately as if to indicate she is mischievous. If you actually read the text and see several of the adaptations, she is just faithful to Lord Ram and Sita. 6. Bali and Sugriva is a total joke. It's no joke to say the depiction, choreography and just the idea around executing the sequence of Bali and Sugriva is embarrassing. To pass this off as a vital point of the storyline in a highly anticipated magnum opus is nothing short of irresponsible. Bali and Sugriva are kings in their own right but are presented as ordinary members of the Vanarsena visually. The action is laughable, the moments never become emotionally riveting and upon closer viewing look like an Android mobile game. 7. Ashok Vatika moments and dialogues are unintentionally funny. Rather than having a beautiful moment where Hanuman sings a song talking about his loyalty to Lord Ram as he visits Sita in the Ashok Vatika in Lanka, we get the dialogues that can be best termed as flippant, unserious and borderline insulting. What was even more hilarious than Saif Ali Khan awkwardly walking as he towers over everyone is when he fully went Aparichit mode while talking to Sita and goes from loving and doting to manic crazy within seconds. It was a sorry sight indeed, because a demon king that one should fear had become a joke. 8. The dialogues and its sorry justification. Manoj Mantasha is doing an entire media campaign now as he defends the film and justifies the dialogues. It's hilarious how they have done a complete 180 on their statements before and after the film. When they were asked before the release of how much they have deviated from the original text, the writer said that they have not gone even a centimeter away from what the core essence of Ramayana is. But now in the interviews, the man claims that the story is just an adaptation, and if they wanted, they could have easily cashed in on the revered nature of the text and called their movie Ramayana, but they did not. The dialogues are also being justified by him by stating that it's an attempt to impact all age demographics, so it has been simplified, which I believe is total bollocks and a very weak defense of just poorly written lines. The airtime on the marketing of the film only digs a deeper hole for the movie, as the effort seems to be talking about the film and how it's important to be seen by Hindus rather than actually making an effort in making a compelling screenplay that people can be proud of. 9. Adipurush literally has a scene where Lord Ram threatens the sea god for not allowing them to cross with his Brahmastra, but it was actually Lord Ram's devotion and prayers that lead to the sea god to allow the rocks to float. One adaptation showcases Ram full of rage and the other of kind and calm devotion towards the gods even during dire circumstances. The dichotomy within Ram's mind to avoid bloodshed is also not explored. It is clear that they just wanted to capitalize on Prabhas's Bahubali stature rather than actually giving a tribute to Lord Ram. 10. Iconic moments and characters are half-baked. I'm sure everyone must have been completely baffled at how half-baked the battles of Indrajit and Kumkaran were. If they had actually envisioned this film to be a two-parter, they could have actually explored the sons of Kumkaran getting slayed first, only to alarm the mighty presence of Kumkaran. The battle of Kumkaran against Hanuman and Lord Ram should have been of epic proportions, of the level of Godzilla vs Kong, or two unstoppable forces coming at loggerheads with each other. But as I said, Kumkaran in Adipurush is nothing but a glorified extra, slain so easily that it becomes a joke. Indrajit also is this tattoo artist running around like Flash and nothing else in Adipurush. His eagerness to impress his father is not explored, and this naive nature is something that really made his character so distinct. It's an absolute travesty that a movie so anticipated was not developed for an IMAX viewing experience. It tells you about the focus of the makers, was less about the quality of the product and more to just cash in on the unanimous love people have for the story. Anyway, that's it for my views on Adipurush. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more.